Hi, welcome back to the tutorials. This one's a bit of change of pace. This one's going to be quite technical because we're going to have a peek behind the curtain about the things that HudCmdr stores on your machine and how it gets all the information it needs to execute the commands that you've set up. So HudCmdr installs to program files, but it also creates another directory. So here you can see c:\users, Gareth, me, app data, roaming, HudCmdr server. So these two directories here are created as part of the installation. These ones here will have existed on your machine, hopefully, before you installed it. But this is where HudCmdr is putting all of the things that it needs to work. There are some system ones like ips.json and config.json. Then there are the ones that you've configured. So commands. These are all the commands that you've set up. There's the profiles here as well, which end in profile.json. All of these, as the name would suggest, if you're familiar with JSON at all, it's just a text-based format. So if we open the commands file, there it is. As you can see, these are the steps for a command. And if we go down, you can see all the different steps. And this one here is my first command. And then another command is done, and this one's for navigation. So press key 49, wait 50 milliseconds, release it. These are virtual key codes. So if you go onto the internet, download a copy of the virtual key codes for Windows, then you can set these up as you need to. The direct input flag is here as well. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is not that I expect you to be changing these at all, but if you do find that you don't like clicking, you like to use the keyboard and not the mouse, you can cut and paste these sections and build up a nice library of commands. Or if you've got a command that you've set up and you want to duplicate the majority of it and don't feel like typing out again, well, you can just cut and paste that section, give it a new name, reload HudCmdr, and hey presto, this command will be available for you. So you need to be careful, of course. If you break the format, like remove one of these curly braces, then it will fail to parse, and you will be told that it's failed to load the commands file and it's errored, but you'll need to fix that before you can go any further. So before you make any changes, do take a backup, otherwise you'll be starting again. So that's the commands file. There's then the profile files that you know and love. So we've got the one here for Elite Dangerous. Again, exactly the same format. We've got a profile name, that HUD width, the HUD height, the ID that we use to find these elements on screen and work out what to do. We've got the buttons here, so we've got the scoop. It will be displayed, but it will execute the cargo scoop command. We've got its position on screen, its width and height, and so forth. This is repeated over and over again. So if you don't want to drag and drop these things on screen, you can change their positions here, get them overlapping each other, all that good stuff. Okay, so the profiles do that. Then finally I wanted to talk to you about the ips.json. So we've got this one here. It's by default, it's got a single line, a nice array, and it says the word allowed inside it. So if you remember back to the the second tutorial where we talked about loading HudCmdr, and it opened a port on your firewall, your Windows firewall, to allow traffic in from the devices on your network. HudCmdr has an extra layer of security as well, which you may or may not want to take advantage of. By default, it's open. The allowed keyword says anyone on the network can send commands to me and I will process them and execute them. So you can have your mobile phone, your tablet, all talking to your computer and you pressing buttons on them and taking the actions. Some of the more security conscious out there may want to restrict that. So rather than letting all of your devices on your network have that ability, you may want to restrict it to just a few. In which case you can change this. You can change this and put in an IP address, quote them, .168.1.20, and you could put another one in there, so 192.168.1.8. Now only these two devices would be able to execute commands via HudCmdr. If you include the keyword allowed, that means that all of the devices, regardless of the number of IP addresses or machine names listed in here, will be allowed access. Now, this of course is pretty weak. It's a layer of security. If you want to really restrict this, then I'd recommend setting up the firewall rules on whichever firewall you use, either Windows or otherwise, to control this access. However, if you just want to quickly set it up and stop HudCmdr talking to things it shouldn't, then you can feel free to enter those IP addresses here. Okay, so we'll come out of here and have a look at the last file, and this one I probably shouldn't show you because I really don't want you to touch it, but just so you know, this is the config file for the application. So this is the port that it's listing on, the level of logging it will give you. All of this is controlled by the UI, of course. We've seen this, we know it, where these files will be stored, and so forth and so forth. As I say, this is the one that if you get this one wrong, HudCmdr isn't going, it won't even load. So fiddle with this at your peril. I show you it's here, but please don't touch. But of course, if it's your application, you can do as you wish. If you wish to change this file, go ahead. But you have been warned. Okay, so that's how HudCmdr stores all its stuff. It stores all its stuff in plain text. If you have a friend or a group of people you want to share a profile with and your command set, then you can share these two files. They can plop them in their HudCmdr server directory, and hey presto, they will have your HUD and command set, and you can work together. So that's why it's been done, so you can share. So feel free, you know where they are. I hope this helps. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.